We unmuted the mic, so that's a good start. What's up, guys? Happy Monday. Gotta get the guns out. Hope you guys had a good weekend. A good Sunday. We are in the dog days. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. What up, Andy? What up, Edwin? We got 15 games tonight. There's a decent size early, decent size main. So we're gonna do our due diligence. Go game by game, update official lineups, and do a little pitching tweaking so we can get our pitcher projections going. And as we go game by game, we'll also do a little prop shopping. So, laid back Cadillac Jack will be out here. What up, Justin? My friend Justin, he's already got a girlfriend, and he's really cracked at Fortnite. I need some chapstick, dude. I'm splitting my lip. All right, we're going to open up the MLBGrind.com premium spreadsheet. I'm going to try and update some lineups for this early slate. That's what I like about these 2 p.m. starts is a lot of lineups are out, so you got a little bit to work with. We're going to check out the Orioles. Oh, we got to get Mr. Ross weather report. 15 games. Some of them are bound to be annoying, y'all. All right. No. This is incredible. Nice. All right. Orioles at the Guardians. Looks like we have a Guardians lineup. Stephen Kwan is back in the leadoff spot. He was out with a wrist thing for the weekend. Saw Angel Martinez fill in and do really well, particularly against the 2 lefties that they faced. Wow, look at this. Now this is the Guardians we know and love. Not a single righty due to the amount of switch hitters. That's just what they do. It's like my MLB The Show team. Lefties and switchies. Let's go. They've got a 4.6 run total. Our pitching matchup is Sagano taking on Bybee. Sagano, we can hyper focus on his lefty splits, although it is pretty even. But we do get a little bit more ground ball and a little bit more hard contact. But generally speaking, Sagano, a strike throwing contact pitcher, 8% swing and strike rate, 11% barrel rate, just a 14% K rate. Now he's going to face a Guardians team that, on paper, in the last couple weeks have looked really, really rough. This particular version of the Guardians team doesn't hit for average, strikes out above average. Actually, not really. This lineup, now that we got Stephen Kwan back, is bringing our aggregate below 20%. But in any point, we can neutralize most of these K rates because of Sagano's contact profile. Even when we do that, we're not too excited to get into many of these bats, but I will say it opens up eyes a little bit more for a guy like Kyle Manzardo, who's in the cleanup spot behind a high OBP Jose Ramirez, and you do get to diminish and erode down his 25% K rate, and look at that near 200 ISO a little bit more. So maybe it opens those guys up. Certainly not that interested in Sagano. He has really no ceiling day to day for a DFS profile. And you really hardly ever want to take his strikeout prop unless you're really, really on the under, because it's usually priced at 3.5. So let's rank this out. Bybee on the inverse, 21% K rate on the season, $1.25 on the whip, 3.64 expected ERA, all that pretty respectable. Against lefties, he does allow a lot of pop, almost a 1.8 home run per nine so far this season. Last year, 1.36. So maybe there's room for some regression. And the batted ball data tells us he's gained 10% of a ground ball, and he's dropped his hard contact. So it seems somewhat unlucky that his home run rate is so high. Nonetheless, even if we regress to last year, it's still worth looking at, particularly with your left-handed pop. And there's a lot of left-handed pop in his Orioles lineup, which I don't have confirmed yet, but would be pretty confident expecting Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn to make the lineup. So let's rank this out. I'm going to go I'm really not that enthusiastic about the Guardians offense, but they're in a decent enough spot. I think I'll always just kind of want to substack them. I don't really know what to expect out of Stephen Kwan. He didn't really catch the IL, but it was a wrist injury that was at least decent enough to keep him out the lineup. I think we would go Orioles. Actually, let's go. We want Bybee, we want Orioles, and we probably want a Guardian substack. Like, it's going to take a lot to get real happy to jam in Brian Rocchio, but you can see Quan get on base a few times. You can see the Angel Martinez, J-Ram. So there's a couple of spin the wheel, make a deal with 4 or 5 of these guys I wouldn't hate. So let's go Bybee, Orioles, substack. Now let's project these pitchers out. What up, Mike? Tell him about the gun line. I haven't watched that movie in a while. I need to get on it. Get down on it. Actually, let's go ahead and just use this lefty splits. So we'll go 12.4% K rate, 5.1% walk rate. Inversely, Bybee, let's give him a 21% K. Walk rate, let's go 7.25. Check out outs. I say that game is probably worth checking out the board. 17.5, 15.5. So that's cool. Let's go 3. Check out the board. Gonna open up a notepad too. Close this other day. Fantasy wise, we're not getting much to attack. Stephen Kwan is 6.5. Bybee's at 6 Ks. What do we got on hits plus runs plus RBIs? I mean, just looking at the options, I'd probably want to stop at 1 through 4. Maybe Manzardo, we can get a cheap hits plus run plus RBI. 1.5. So out of curiosity, let's go to batters. Did I miss a? No, that's coming. They're just all at the same time. All right. No crazy numbers. Jacob Stallings. Yeah, there's a lot of plus money. For over 1.5. But generally, though, this line, I guess J-Ram moved up to 3. So is J-Ram, can you get J-Ram at 1.5? Probably not. No, not for 118 or plus. So it doesn't look like there's any extreme value. So we probably just leave it alone. With the Bybee projection, it's going to spit me 6 Ks. That's right on the projection. So I think that game is pretty well priced. So nothing really going to make my list. So we'll matriculate on to the next one. We'll go Padres and Marlins. Padres a 4-run total. Marlins 4.7. I mean, it's rare you see the Padres as a dog, but they're a dog to the Marlins. And a pretty decent dog, too. Lineups confirmed. Luis Arraez in the 2 spot. Manny Machado, Gavin Sheets, Xander Bogaerts is batting 5th. Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth, Jose Iglesias, Martin Maldonado. Meanwhile, Marlins throwing out Xavier Edwards, Jesus Sanchez, Otto Lopez, Augustine Ramirez, Stowers. Liam Hicks is in the 6 hole. Heriberto Hernandez. 7th spot, Graham Pauley. That's a pretty white name. It gets whiter. Dane Myers. Let's go. Stereotypes. Yay. Pitching matchup is Randy Vasquez taking on Yuri Perez. Perez, a 26.5% K rate, 34 innings of work this season, sub 6% barrel rate. You like that. You also love the 2.38 expected ERA. Kind of a weird split profile. With some pitchers, we can point at, I don't know, what they're good at, what they're bad at. It's kind of crazy to see Yuri Perez allow a really low average to both sides, a really low barrel rate, but his fly ball and his hard contact, particularly to lefties, is pretty high. I guess righties where he's really, really dominating. A 6% hard contact is kind of crazy. So we got to do some digging here. Now this is probably a mute point because it's a small slate, but that's an incredible. So overall, we got a really fast fastball, 98.1 average miles an hour. He pounds it to lefties a lot, which kind of explains the I don't know, high whiffs on the changeup sweeper, and that's to be expected when you got a 10-mile-an-hour difference sitting from almost 100. Let's split that up to righties and kind of figure out. It's really not much to figure out. Expected average on all of his pitches against righties is sub 170. Expect a lot of fastballs. 53% of the time against righties. Backs it up with a slider. Slider has a 210 expected slug. I mean, that's just really good stuff. The Padres, not a strikeout team. This lineup, aggregate 19% K rate. I don't know if we're ready to put Yuri Perez in a different echelon, but he is pretty cheap on DraftKings at $7,500 versus his $9K price point on Fanduel. Seven innings on 84 pitches, been pretty efficient, but not really clearing 90 with any conviction, and I don't know why you would force it. So I'd probably expect a modest 90 pitch projection. Probably put him at 17.5 on the out projection. Interesting. All right, Randy Vasquez, we know what we're getting out of him. Another contact guy, high barrel rate, low swinging strike rate. Pretty splitty himself, allowing a lot more damage to lefties. A 1.4 plus aggregate home run per 9 the last 3 years, particularly this year. A high walk rate as well to lefties, and a high fly ball, high hard contact. Maybe Lone Depot Park is enough to suppress some homers, as the park factors do kind of lean in the pitcher favor here, but these are still attackable numbers, and lefties that I like from the Marlins, particularly Jesus Sanchez. But man, Kyle Stowers is just going crazy. He's got to be the best 5-hole hitter in baseball over the course of the last 20 games. So yeah, let's project out the pitchers and then let's see if there's anything on the Marlins lefties we might want to get into. So Vasquez, we're gonna give him a 12.1 K rate. Yuri, 26 and a half. Let's go 10% on the Vasquez walk rate. And then let's go 7% there. All right, Alex, I'm guessing 17 and a half, 15 and a half, probably. No, both at 15. Yeah, we're not going to get a crazy K number on 15 for Yuri. Gives us 5Ks. I would imagine he's at 5. Yep. What's up, EB? How you been? Since he does a lot of damage with high gas, I bet there's a way to quantify Padres versus high gas. But like I said, generally speaking, this is a low K rate team. Now the inverse is, well, I don't know, because Yuri does walk lefties. I'm gonna say maybe that low K high contact will get Yuri deeper in the games, and that's still a range of outcomes. But no warm and fuzzies, right? And yeah, the DK price stands out more than the FD price. I think we're gonna go Yuri, DK, go Marlins substack, Padres substack. No interest in Randy. And let's see if there's anything on the lefty we can get for the Marlins with any bit of confidence. Probably looking for something on Xavier, Jesus Sanchez, and Stowers, right? So let's go fantasy score. 6.5 fantasy points for Jesus, not crazy. 6.5 for Xavier, not crazy. Man, Stowers is 5 fantasy points, going nuts. He's going absolutely nuts. Stowers. I mean, this baseball savant page is crazy. All right, let's see if he's got some juice on his HRR art. It's minus 125, which is a little. It's technically value, but it's not crazy. But that's fine. We do kind of like it. Arise is minus 140. That's interesting. Jesus Sanchez is minus 145 for 2+ HRRR. So that probably bodes well for his fantasy. So let's get an early nomination. Sanchez over 6.5 FPS. And then yeah, you can't get him. You can't get flat line on his plus runs plus RBIs. But I don't think the 6.5 kind of represents that. So because you know RBI double kind of clears us there, so I'm a little bit intrigued in that. Otto Lopez is at minus 140. Which is value, but I don't think I've ever put Otto Lopez on put money on Otto Lopez, but man, that is that's certainly some value. Oh, good spot for it, man. Good spot. Vasquez doesn't allow as much damage to righties, but Lopez has pretty good splits too. And pretty good protection, right? That's a maybe. Let's go. Let's put these out, yeah. Let's go. Stronger confidence. Line value. So Lopez, 5.5 FPS. We'll say minus 44 to his plus RBI. Kyle Stowers is really just the guy I want. But 5.5 is really low too. I'm kind of in there. What was his bond detector rating? Homie's just been on a tear. 4.25, 17% probability. You know what? While we're here, let's just go pull it. Yeah. When I die, put my money in the grave. All right. I thought that said Colin Schwarber. All right. What's up, Quinn? What up, Jay? J. Cole. It's me. Cole. Mr. Nice Watch. Stores over 5.5 FPS. Really like, or just 5. Dude, that's such a low line. Homie is cranking it right now. I don't want to get too invested in Marlins home, ballpark, whatever, and we're really just shoving on Randy, but let's go. Let's just, doing due diligence. Gotta leave him there. Next game, I don't want to spend too much time on the Marlins. Tigers and the Pirates. Jack Flaherty taking on Paul Skeens. Paul Fiend. Pirates lineup is out. Spencer Horwitz. Has to be the worst leadoff hitter in baseball. Ryan Reynolds in the 3-hole. Nick Gonzalez. O'Neill Cruz has to be the best 5-hole hitter in baseball. Although we just talked about Stowers, so whatever. IKF. Run total for the Tigers 3.4, Pirates 3.7. So two really, really strong pitchers here on a small slate that you're probably going to throw at each other. Flaherty, 29.5% K rate, has been striking out righties more than lefties. He gets the Pirates that are kind of half and half in terms of K rates, but the guys that don't strike out don't do much of anything in terms of striking fear in you. Only Nick Gonzalez and O'Neill Cruz this season with above average WRC pluses against righties, and they're kind of hidden in the middle of the lineup. So, surrounded by suck. So both pitchers certainly are strong. Paul Skeens, the tougher matchup, but Skeens is Skeens, right? He's a alien sent to this world to throw baseball. So we're just gonna be in on both guys. I don't really care how you rank it out. They probably both are at 17.5 outs. We should probably get two different tabs for that way I don't have to keep clicking back and forth. They're probably both at 17.5 outs. They're not. Skeen's at 15.5. What's up with that? I feel like he's been going. 5? No, I guess not. They've been babysitting his pitch count. Hasn't really broke 90 since June 19th. Coming off the break here. All right. So then I think in that case I have to prioritize Flaherty. So we'll go Flaherty 1. And then Paul Skeens 2. That's what we like here. That's what I like. Paul Skeens 28. Walker 8. Let's go 8. Paul Skeens. Let's go 6. Let's go 17.5. 15.5. I'm gonna give him 4 in terms of QS. So that gave me Tiger sign-up is confirmed. So let's punch that in while we're here. Claver, Perez, Riley, Torkelson, McKinstry, Dingler, Meadows, Javi. That's projected, right? Unless they greenlighted it before they threw it out. They did. That's exactly what they did. Huh. Keith, Claver, Riley Green. Zach McKinstry. Dylan Dingler. Parker Meadows. Matt Verling. And Trey Sweeney. So Javi Baez left the game, I believe, yesterday. With an injury. Guess he's not. What's up, Catalza? Here. What up, Adam? How we living? All right, so now that we have that, gives us 6.7 Ks for Flaherty. I'm sure that he's at 6.5, 7, 6.5. Yeah, no value there. Not really gonna prop shop the hitters unless you guys want to like maybe take some unders. We actually, I think it was Brian Hayes the other day. We were like flirting with his under, and it hit. Old Jake put some pennies on it. But nobody that we want to bet. And it's more fun to bet overs. I get it. So that's where we're going to shop on the stream. But yeah, Brian Hayes does kind of suck though, right? So I keep seeing him listed in these like mock trades for the Yankees, and I'm like, why? What are we doing? It's 70 WRC plus? Again, no, I'm good off that actually. If we can just not. Dude, they suck so much that you can't even get a even line. Like the pitching matchup is what it is, and you can't even get an even line. Like you cannot bet less on any line for the Pirates, dude. That is so scummy. I've never seen that. That's great. You can get freaking home run odds for somebody to hit 2.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. All right. Next, let's go Reds and Nationals. Brady Singer taking on Jake Irvin. TJ Friedel, Matt McClain, Ellie De La Cruz, Austin Hayes, Gavin Lux, Spencer Steer, Noel V. Marte, Jake Fraley, former Yankee great Jose Trevino, in the 9 spot. Nats lineup: CJ Abrams, James Wood, Josh Bell, Nate Lowe, Brady House, Dalen Lyle, Ahmed Rosario, Riley Adams, Jacob Young, 4.8 run total for the Reds, 4.4 for the Nationals. 4.41 expected ERA for old Brady. Homers to lefties, keeping lefties and righties in the park. High line drive rate to both sides of the plate, which is kind of a problem against some of these swings. And then Jake Irvin, 5.27 expected ERA. A lot of power to both sides of the plate. High ground ball rate, ironically, to righties. He had that last year as well, but still, you can catch him lacking. But lefties can really take advantage of him. Ground ball rate drops to 35%, pretty linear to last year. High hard contact, the barrel rate is up, and the home runs are pushing nearly 2. Reds don't have a lot of lefties to strike confidence. Ellie De La Cruz obviously leads the pack in everything. TJ Friedel, every now and then a puncher's chance, and same with Gavin Lux. So it's kind of an ugly spot. Certainly we want to kind of take advantage of it, but there's really not much to do it. And you're never going to get a good deal on Ellie De La Cruz lines, right? It's probably at 7.5, between 7.5 and 9.5. Probably selling it 7.5 here, 8.5. Literally between 7.5, 9.5. So not much to fall in love with. And you'd have to go up there and get his plus runs plus RBIs as well. So it kind of takes away a lot of steam. So I guess it would be like TJ Friedel or or Gavin Lux. Sometimes we get some implied value on Friedel's home run props. So like right now, Friedel is at a little bit of value, right? He's priced at 680 on Fanduel. The spreadsheet thinks he should be 561, but that's not like enough value to run and dump the PayPal account on, right? So I think this is a spot we would stack for DFS, but that's just putting a blanket over it. Wouldn't really feel confident in attacking some of these overpriced props. Inversely, though, Singer against some lefties, wouldn't mind taking a look at CJ Abrams and James Wood. And really Nate Lowe, that 1-4 can get him for sure. So you find something in the middle with some hits plus runs plus RBIs. That'd be like James Wood. I doubt you're going to get him at 1.5. You do get him at 1.5 and 6.5 on the fantasy points. So we do like that. Let's see if we're getting a good deal on it. Looking at the lines. So Mr. Wood is at -130 for 2. So anything above 118, we're like, okay, I could deal with that. And him touching -130, that's a good sign. Austin Hayes is in the cleanup spot. He's at -135. TJ Friedel's at -140. So that's some odds value if you're into that. And I don't mind. I'd rather take chances on leadoff road guys to hit their odds value than guys stuffed in the middle of the lineup of the Marlins. So let's nominate him, but also let's mention James Wood. What's his walk rate looking like? 16% walk rate. So you probably want to lean the fantasy points just in case we scoop up this near 9% walk rate, right? So let's go James Wood over 6 FPS or 1.5. But we probably lean this one first. And the bullpen for the Reds sucks, and James Wood's just good, right? So actually, the Reds bullpen not as bad as the Nationals bullpen. So that really kind of makes Friedel interesting. What's his we said -140. That's really good value. If we could spell 6 fantasy points. Here's how you could price PrizePicks against itself. You're gonna have to go and get 3. Like you have to take the over at 2.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. Well, I feel like 6. Like if he clears that, he's clearing 6, right? So I mean they give you that. So we're gonna move that to the top of the list. Over 6 FPS. We'll say -140 for 2. And is there anything else we want here? Are the 4 guys good for you? Know what today? The 4 guys, the 4 elements: Earth, Aaron Judge; Wind, Ohtani. So Schwarber, Judge, Ohtani, and Raleigh. Let's see a bomb detector. Ohtani's 1, Judge is 4. Hey, Eugenio has kicked the door open, dude. He's 3. But he might get yanked mid-game with a Yankee contract. It's gonna be glorious. Raleigh, yeah, they're all up there, man. I haven't looked at a single one of their matchups yet, though. Schwarber's kind of low. I say kind of low. He's still at 17% probability, but yes, I guess. Sure, but I don't even know who they're facing. I haven't looked at anything. And Judge's in Toronto. All right. Did we price out pitching projections? We did not. So Singer, 21.4. Irvin, 17. Irvin, 7.5. We're looking at on outs. 17.5, 16.5. Cool. Next. All right, last game on this early slate. Red Sox and the Phillies. More solid pitching. This is a fun slate for, we like 5 gamers, wheelhouses, quick sweats. Some of these early slates have just been 3 games with weather in one. This slate's pretty balanced. Confirmed lineup for the Red Sox. Trevor Story in the cleanup spot. Wilyer Abreu, Cedon, Rafaela, Marcelo Meyer, .3 run total for the Red Sox. Trey Turner, Schwarber, Bryce, Casty, Real Muto batting 5th. Brandon Marsh, Otto Kemp, Max Kepler, Bryson Stott. Run total for the Phillies, 4.9. So the game, I think, lost half a run total. The seesaw for the pitchers is pretty one-sided. The fat kid who just ate a cake is Zach Wheeler. He's touching the ground while Buehler's in the air. Legs dangling. High home run per 9 at both sides of the plate. Especially the righties this year, 283. Doesn't kind of really make sense, right? 27% hard contact rate, sub 10% barrel rate. Like, he's not going to give up 3 home runs per game. But, you know, right now, it's kind of looking that way. Against lefties, $1.25. And then last year, 1.93. So if you're looking for Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper to stay hot, the matchup's certainly just fine against a contact righty who also has a little bit of a walk problem. Gets pushed in some counts. And I think one thing that is kind of, I don't want to say forgotten, right? But Kyle Schwarber's going crazy. And just think about the luxury of having a high OBP speed demon Trey Turner in front of him if he gets on. And then you got Bryce Harper on deck. So you really see how a guy with his skill set can cash in and take full advantage of it. And that's exactly what he's been doing. 265 ISO against righties this year. 135 WRC plus. Good spot in Citizens Bank to stay hot. 22% above average in homers to lefties this season. So to answer your question, yeah, Zach Wheeler, or excuse me, yeah, Kyle Schwarber looking pretty solid in this spot. Phillies gonna be top of the interest ranking. Zach Wheeler, 2. Don't think I'm getting to Walker Buehler. Not even if there's a fire. By the way, let's go Nat Substack in the other one, and then Red Substack in that one. And we're keeping it moving. Let's project this game out. 18% Buehler, 33% for Wheeler. 9.5. Let's go 5. Got 5 on it. Just accidentally closed that out. So that's cool, actually. $18.5, 14.5. Sheesh. We're gonna give Wheeler his due. All right. Let's see what we can get off of the Phillies bat. 7 fantasy points. Yeah. Interested. Listening. What else you got? Hits plus runs plus RBIs. Hey, you gotta get up to 2.5. What's the juice on that? I bet he's like 3 for minus 110, right? Would be my guess. Schwarber, 2 for minus 135. That's actually, I thought that for sure that would be like 140, but Bryce Harper is Hey, he's minus 140. Casty is up there too? Casty's minus 145? You're not getting, you can't get a flat line for any of these guys, I guess. So I probably lean to fantasy points here. I guess if Casty would be 5.5. So like they're charging you for the hits plus runs plus RBIs, but basically you have to take 3. And if he hits 3, he's clearing 5.5. And as far as line value goes, Casty has the most line value, I guess, on that stat. Yeah, like he literally has deeper odds than Bryce and Schwarber. Schwarber's at minus 135, Harper minus 140, but Castellanos minus 145. So we'll put him in the line value over 5. The line value bucket. Minus 145, 4 to Walker Buehler stay off. And then I do like Schwarber 7 fantasy points just because of everything. So let's do that. Schwarber over 7 FPS. Savant. What is old Walker pipe into our lefties here? Really to everybody, but to righties. Like I said, the hard contact to righties isn't like crazy. And Cassie's been so league average. That's why it's just a line value, right? I'm not, I don't love it, but it's line value. And he's got a lot of OBP guys in front of him. Unless they got some bums out the pen that are lefties or something. I don't know. Let's see. Boston. Yeah, they do. They got to actually, they're almost for sure going to throw 1 to 2 lefties out the pen. Chapman is a beast, sure. But Justin Wilson, Bernardino, and Chris Murphy all haven't pitched. Didn't pitch yesterday, and 2 of them haven't pitched since coming back. So just flipping this real quick. That'll give us a 291 average for Casty with a 116 WRC plus. So OBP spot for, I get it now, right? OBP spot against Walker Buehler with these guys in front of him, meaning the guys in front of him have a high OBP chance to give us some RBIs, and then likely to see some lefties because you're going to bring those lefties in to go lefty. So, all right, I can get down with Castellanos. But we're kind of getting surgical with that one. What was I doing? Oh, Buehler against lefties. 252 expected batting average, 429 slug on his fastball. 500 slug on a cutter with a 339 XBA. And he's using that pretty often as well. What's up, Choke? Appreciate you stopping by. All right. I would imagine Trey Turner's like priced pretty high too. Do we even get Trey Turner fantasy points? Probably not. We do. 7.5. Interesting. All right. Let's clear that. So that's going to zero out our early slate. We didn't have an Orioles lineup yet, right? So we got everything but Orioles. So let's pop those tabs open for the spreadsheet. We'll go, I don't know what to call that, afternoon, I guess. So if you guys are subscribers at the MLB Grind, those tabs will be ready for you. Cleveland. Dude, I saw some. I don't know if I should even bring it up because I don't follow politics, but was it for real that the president wanted them to change their name back to the Indians? Like, that's kind of crazy. I never know these days. Again, don't follow politics. I never know when I see something about the president saying something. I never know if it's satire or real. Like, I'm just like, what? The president took time to write about a sports team's name? That's real? If it is, that's kind of crazy. So the Reds actually came in with the highest stack rating, 571. Again, if you isolate, I mean, you look at everyone's, Jesus, I don't know. Why is that happening? I guess almost a 5-run total, and that bullpen will do it. Frilled. All right, let's go with that. Reds. Oh, was it the football team? Okay, I thought it was the Guardians. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like once it's been done. So where I live in Waco, y'all know that, right? Central Texas. And they had actually, when I grew up, the local base was called Fort Hood. And I don't know who Hood is, but apparently he was controversial enough that there was a movement to rename the base. So they renamed it to Fort Cavazos and like renamed like the signs, the signs on the highways, and it was Cavazos. I don't know how long, but like this year they were like, okay, now we're going back to Fort Hood. And I think it came from the top down. And I'm just like, man, once you change the name, just move on. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the story is between the guy it was named after and so on and so forth. But man, it just feels like, who cares? Like, I didn't care, but maybe somebody cared enough. We're moving out to the main slate here. Yankees and the Blue Jays, first game on the docket. We do have a confirmed Blue Jays lineup. Ernie Clement, George Springer, Vladdy, Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, David Schneider, Miles. That's the last straw. Leo Jimenez and Joey Loperfido. So this game actually, this series means a lot for the AL East. Yankees are 3 games back of the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have been kind of surging even prior to the All-Star break. Red Sox beat up on like the Rockies on the other side of the All-Star break and 10-game win streak, blah, 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 blah. But if you're the Yankees, this means a lot. If you're the Blue Jays, this series means a lot, right? Each game kind of means 2. So it's not for nothing. Put it out there. Carlos Rodon taking on Kevin Gausman. Fun pitching matchup for a meaningful game. We'll see what the Yankees throw out as far as a lineup. They've been kind of, randomly pulling out who's going to lead off. We've seen Jason Dominguez. We've seen Trent Grisham. We've seen Paul Goldschmidt. And to me, all 3 of those guys are just fine, but I don't know. I think I'd rather Jason Dominguez grow into that role. Carlos Rodon on the season, 3.1 expected ERA, 28.2% K rate. He'll be up against Gausman's 3.93 expected ERA, 23% K rate. Both pitchers, we got to give them enough respect here to maybe not want to shove, but both offenses are good enough too. So ranking this one out, it's going to be tough. I think I like them all equally, with the Blue Jays offense like my least favorite. Far as flat, like if I get to stacking the Blue Jays, I'm pretty isolated on who I'm attacking here, right? I don't need to prioritize Straw, Jimenez, and Loperfido, so I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna go. go Yankees, Blue Jays, Substack, Kevin Gausman, Carlos Rodon. Literally all equal, and none of them are like at the top of a mountain. But you see a range of outcome for each one of those options to deliver, right? So let's just project it out. What up, Don? I'm planning a tournament with 20,000 people. Should I use a GPP lineup core for that, or the single entry core? Which one to use? I guess first the question would be, is it multi-entry or single entry? If it's multi-entry, you probably got to get a little cute. 20,000 still a lot of lineups to beat. What up, Jimmy? Yeah. Would you play a 5-man St. Louis stack in one of the 3-2-2-2 lineups, or is that too chalky? Thinking I would like to at least cash. If you're gonna play a tournament to at least cash, just pull that lineup out and put it in a double up. I get it though, covering your bases. I haven't looked at the ownerships, but I have seen a lot of buzz on the pricing for the Cardinals. Old Adam's Twitter had me entertained this morning. But it's a great spot for him. But yeah, you're likely to be holding hands. Trump lost his mind long ago. Yeah, I'm not. I don't really care about any of that. To me, they're all idiots, and it's hilarious at this point. Like, I'm just like laughing at the chaos. But it just blows my mind how satire it comes across, and it's not. They're dead serious. You won the tickets. Oh, okay, so yeah, that does change a lot. Then I would probably find 3 teams I like the most, commit to 5-man stacks, and go. Would probably make, I'd probably make it to where I'm playing with house's money, right? So I don't want those lineups really holding hands on a 10-game slate. So it'd be pretty unique. Maybe you get like a one-off Cardinals bat or something. But yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I would definitely probably throw one, at least 5-man. Just trying to get that money back. That's actually smart. But I do imagine they'll have the highest ownership in that stake. Maybe 20 to 40% based on who it is. The Yanks sweep. I'd be here for that. You get a Yankees sweep. They're back in first place. Brian Cashman gets on the phone, and we go get Tariq Skubal for Marcus Stroman. Who says no? Literally, who says no? That just works for everybody. Projecting out our pitching matchup. 28.2% K rate for Rodon. Kevin Gausman, 23.1. Let's go 7.5 versus Gausman's walk rate of 7.5. I guess we're both at 17.5 on outs, maybe. Yep. Mercy. Let's go 3-3. I don't want to take much on offense here. Looking for holes. Gausman, high line drive rate to righties, high hard contact rate to righties, high fly ball rate. So if you can get around his 1 in 4 K rate, but a guy like Aaron Judge, sure. Low average allowed to lefties, and I wonder if Aaron Boone plays with that. We'll surround Judge with 4 lefties, you know what I mean? I feel like they like to go lefty righty, switch it up, something like that. So I might expect that, but we'll see. And Rodon, low average, high Ks, but he will allow some homers. 1 OPS, 234 ISO for Ernie Clement in the leadoff spot with as much protection as his heart can get. So Ernie, do we get like a 5 fantasy point prop? I don't want to put money on it, but just thinking out loud, we do 5.5 for a leadoff guy in front of those guys is pretty valuable. Especially, it looks like there's some line value involved here. Because Ernie is at minus 140 for 2 hits plus runs RBIs. So again, something that I'm not gonna sweat, but you have to at least appreciate line value, right? Minus 140 for 2. And basically what we're doing here, guys, if you were to build out a card of like six lines, or 6 picks, and they're all 1-to-1, like not demons and goblins, you're getting like 118 implied odds. Well, when you see, like, for instance, every one of these guys we've listed in line value, minus 145, 140, like, you're getting value, technically, on PrizePicks when you're getting them at those 118 odds versus the minus 140, 145. So that's why we're listing them here. It's not like I love the spot or like a warm and fuzzies here. We got to at least appreciate the widest line value. And sometimes they fall asleep at the wheel when it comes to fantasy points. So I guess they have an automated enough process where you're not really going to catch them lacking on hits plus runs plus RBI, meaning you can't bet 1.5. You have to go 0.5 or 2.5. But if he clears the 2.5, and really if he clears 1.5, he's probably going to clear 5.5 fantasy points. So that's kind of the edge if you want to get that in the mix. But it's purely line value, not really something I love, but it makes sense, right? Leadoff guy. Yeah. All right, next game. Angels and the Mets. Both lineups confirmed. We got Zach Neto, Shanuel, Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, Joe Adele, Yohan Moncada, Logan Hoppy, Lamont Wade Jr., and Luis Rengifo. Taking on Brandon Nimmo, Frankie Lindor, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Mark Vientos, Brett the Hitman Beatty, Francisco Alvarez. They call him back up. I thought he got thought they told him to kick rocks. Man, see, 3.7 run total versus a 5 run total. We got Tyler. The Andersons got tickets to the game. How they get tickets? According to Sengai, Tyler Anderson, pretty reverse splitty in terms of average allowed and homers are allowed, but he also allows homers to the right side of the plate. Frankie Lindor, his bat has fallen asleep, and we know historically against lefties, something we do like to see, so maybe a spot for his bat to wake up. Nonetheless, 1 through 4 were involved. We saw Pete Alonso take a game off, especially against the lefty. Who was it over the weekend? But it looks like he's back in the cleanup spot, and we could tap into his 224 ISO and his 12% walk rate. So I do like the Mets, particularly the top end of the Mets lineup, 1 through 5, if you really want to extend. But that's where I'm at there. Senga, interesting spot for him. He's facing a high strike. Oh, no, he's not really. Yeah, he is high strikeout, high power lineup. Not a lot more walks in this Angels lineup than I thought. But I guess since we pulled the stats to this year, we're going to get a little wonkier numbers. And Senga can lose the plot, right? 12+% walk rate to lefties since his 23 campaign. This year, keeping righties at bay for the most part, actually pretty elitely. 24% K rate, sub 200 average allowed, keeping the ball in the park, on the ground. So if you're going to make Senga bleed, it's usually with lefties, and the best Angels bats are really righties. So Nolan Shanuel would probably be the guy I look at, but otherwise, not a lot to get behind here. So I'm going to go Mets, and I actually think I'm going to get a little Senga interest. But what are we thinking on a pitch count? Because I feel like he's missed some chewing. I didn't spill my beer. 7-11, 4 innings, 67. So probably have to taper our expectations. We might get up to 80 pitches, yeah. Maybe we price them at 14.5 innings. or 14.5 outs. Tyler Anderson the same. So I think we're gonna do that. And maybe I'm overpricing his outs, but whatever. 18% K rate for Anderson. 23.8 for Senga. Let's go walk rate. 8.7. Senga. All right, let's split this up. So 1, 2, 3, so about 4. All right, we're gonna be. We'll give him a little boost to the 9. And then I'm gonna go 14.5, 13.5. And we'll leave that alone. That gives me 4.74 Ks for Senga, which I imagine 4.5 is probably the line. 5.5, Jesus. The unknown is how many outs we can project, so I'm not going to touch that. And I get no warm and fuzzies just from anything on this situation, so I'm going to leave it be. Looks like we do have a Yankees lineup, so get that swept real quick. Grisham, Judge's batting second. Jazz Chisholm, yeah, that's what I thought we might do. Go lefty righty in that spot. It's like I know. Although we got 2 righties at the bottom. All right, green light the Yankees. Not much changes there. And we can matriculate on to the Giants game. Let me double check Mr. Ross' weather report on that. Warm, humid, winds blowing out to left at 10. There's a chance for a pop-up shower to storm cause a delay, but not a very good chance. All right, cool. So the Giants lineup is out. We got Young Ho Lee, Elliot Ramos, Rafi Devers, Willie Adames, Matt Chapman. He's got a fast car. Mike Yastrzemski, Wilmer Flores, Casey Schmidt, Patrick Bailey, and Hayden Birdsong, incredible name, up against Bryce Elder, lining for the Braves, Profar, Matty Ice, Ronald Acuna, Drake Baldwin, Ozzie Albies is batting 5th, Sean Murphy, Nacho. Sometimes when baseball players grow up, they wear stretchy pants just for fun. Green light that. Giants implied run total 4.6. Braves 5.1. So yeah, a little win, a little hotness. We get Hayden Birdsong, 4.32 expected ERA, 1.42 on the whip. Whip is being anchored by his walk rate, right? He's not giving up a massive average. He's a high average to lefties, 275, 2+ home run per 9, and a high walk rate. So this looks like the inverse of Matt Olson's everything. So Matt Olson is screaming pick me. But I guess righty's not too shabby on everything but walks. And then Bryce Elder, man, not great. 5.6 expected ERA, 1.51 on the whip, 19% K rate. He's been a guy I've been attacking, but essentially every 5 days. High home run per 9 to both sides of the plate. He can troll you because he does have a high ground ball rate to both sides of the plate. So you really want to invest in good bat swing, good bat path, good line drive to fly ball hitters to turn a ground baller into a fly baller. But it's certainly not impossible, right? He still has a 20+% line drive rate to both sides of the plate. Not that intrigued with either pitcher. Neither one of them is going to give me a ceiling worth chasing. And both offenses are scary enough. So I'm going to go Braves and Giants. I kind of like the Giants as a flatter stack more than Braves. But with the Braves, I'm in love with Matt Olson. So what can we get for Matt Olson? 6.5 fantasy points. We do like that. And it looks like he's going to be juiced up on the hits plus runs plus RBIs. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to go. He's minus 140. So good, in my opinion, good value. 6.5. And like I said, you want the fantasy points for him because Matt Olson is facing a pitcher that walks 12.7% of lefties he's facing, and then you put him right in front of Acuna. So you hate for him to draw 2 walks, and then does he really have a 31% carry rate against righties this year? Wow, we neutralize that a little bit. It's actually incredible, and I didn't think he was doing it like that. Really? I have to check that. It almost feels wrong. I check cheddar like a food inspector. Against righties, 21%. Okay, so something's wrong. Oh, I got the Braves against a lefty. What's going on there? See? You see? I knew it. And it also moves his walk rate up to 15%. All right, I'm glad I saw that and was like, what? That just makes him look even juicier. All right, so we're gonna add that to our stronger confidence tab. Matt Olson over 6.5 FPS, and we're gonna list the reasoning being, not the reasoning, but he's minus 150 for 2, right? If he hits that, he's likely to clear. He's not guaranteed, I think. I think he is, because the RBI double, I think, clears it. But if you get... Yeah, all right. You get what I'm saying. Massive spot. Massive spot. Glad we looked that up. I hope Birdsong goes perfect today. Next, White Sox in the Rays. White Sox run total 3.8. Did I project those pictures? I did not. Jesus. Bryce Elder, 19.4. Yeah, actually, after the adjustment, does Olsen get like number 1 in the bond detector? I feel like he's got to be crazy high today. He's not. Son of a... Where are you even at, Matt? No way you're this low. No way. 219 ISO. 14 homer. All right. I don't know what. Okay. All right. Whatever. Pitcher projection. Birdsong. 11. Elder. Give him the 8. Else, I'm going to guess both at 15.5 and go from there. 16.5, 14.5. So, on average. All right, now we can go to the White Sox game. White Sox and the Rays. We got Sean Burke taking on Shane Baz. 3.8 run total for the White Sox. 5.5 for the Rays. Out there in Steinbrenner Field. It's friggin' hot. Almost 90 degrees. Mike Tauchman, Chase Meijeroth, Andrew Benintendi, Miguel Vargas, Kyle Teal, Luis Robert Jr., Colson Montgomery, Lennon Sosa, and Brooks Baldwin. Brooks was here. Let's put that. Rays leading off Chandler Simpson, Yandy Diaz in the 2 spot. Jonathan Arunda. So I guess Brandon Lau got hurt again. Not like I had money on him when he got hurt. It's not like that. It's not like that. Now, maybe I would be salty if I just haven't been getting bent over with these cards. But today is a new day. Yes, it is. Sean Burke has a 5.4 expected ERA. Shane Baz, 3.71. One of these things, not like the other. High home run per 9 to Sean Burke's on Sean Burke's splits, particularly the lefties, and the batted ball kind of explains it, right? Over a 47% aggregate fly ball rate to both sides of the plate, 11% barrel rate. Against lefties, they're lining them up a little bit more, right? 21% line drive rate. Hard contact rate is down 6% versus righties, but it's still like fine as far as attacking it, and a 14% walk rate. So this would have been a crazy spot for Brandon Lau. But instead, we can go after Chandler Simpson and Jonathan Aranda. particularly Aranda if we really want to chase some power. Simpson has been just so good at getting on and stealing bases. 8.5 fantasy points, so we were getting him at 6.5 before the weekend started. So now they're starting to count for the fact this man gets on, he steals. What did we get on Aranda? 6 fantasy points. You. 6. You. Minus 145. Incredible matchup. You know what happens when you're minus 145 with an incredible matchup? You know what happens? You just made the list. Why am I getting tagged? On TikTok. Oh. All right. So we're going to introduce Aranda. 3-hole guy. I'm a little intrigued here. Don't do this. Don't do this to me, Jonathan. Let's go Jonathan Aranda in the confidence list. Over 6 FPS. Minus 140. I think we said it was minus 145, yeah? Minus 145 for 1.5. It's plus runs plus RBIs, y'all. And then the benefit of that is for fantasy is if, and we don't really want to sweat 8 fantasy points for Simpson, but if Simpson gets on and steals, it's a guy that's almost automatically in scoring position for Aranda, right? So, and on that, and 3 in a row of batting 300 in that spot. So I'm with it. Yeah. What up, Joe? Yeah, PrizePicks learning. But we can still get exposure to it in a roundabout way. 19% K rate for Burke. Let's go 23.4. Let's go 9%. Let's go Shane Bass. 8.5. Outs. 17.5, 14.5. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go 2.5 towards this QS. So I guess theoretically, Shane Baz is in the conversation. Baz actually strikes out lefties a lot more than righties this year. And the White Sox are throwing out a lot more lefties. Only 3 righties in this lineup. Now, these lefties don't come with high K rates, but it is interesting. I thought this at 3.5 Ks. I was about to unload. 6 Ks is probably, that's right on where it should be. It's actually probably higher than what I got. 596, yeah. All right, so no egregious opportunity there. What are you gonna do? I forgot I had a bucket of water above my feet. I almost just accidentally dipped my sock-wearing foot into that bucket of water. Jesus. All right, next up, Athletics at the Rangers. Athletics giving us Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson. And then Brent Rooker's batting 4th. Shea Langoliers, Tyler Soderstrom, Miguel Andujar, Max Muncy. That funky Muncy. But not that one. Green light. Run total, 4.2. For the Rangers, we got a 4.5. We got Jacob Lopez, Jack Leiter. I read a Underdog tweet earlier, said the Athletics will listen to offers on Severino, Jeffrey Springs, and JP Sears. Oh yeah? I'm sure they will. like sometimes I feel like you tweet stuff just for engagement. Like, of course they will. They'll listen to offers on pretty much anybody, but 3 of the worst pitchers in baseball? Sure, why not? Yeah, man, we'll listen. You want one of the worst contracts we've ever signed? That hates it here? I mean, we'll listen. We'll listen. What you got? Freak out of here. Lopez, 28% K rate on the season and 55 0.5%, or excuse me, 55.2 innings. Striking out lefties at a high clip. Likely to get all but one righty. But he still has a pretty high K rate against righties, but everything else falls apart. 1.5 homer per nine, 53% fly ball rate, 28% line drive rate. Maybe he's suffering because of the park. Like, maybe we can isolate his road splits, but it does probably... I mean, can't do worse, right? I'm just wondering if he's a little unlucky at home, I guess is what I'm getting at, right? Home versus righties. 5 homers away versus righties. 3, so not crazy. Matter of fact, looks like his slug allowed goes up, so no excuses. No excuses. I think I'm gonna go athletics here in the podium, and that's about it. So let's project the pitchers. Lopez, we'll give him a 28. Lighter, let's go 20. 7.8. Lighter, 10.8. Outs, 15 and a half on both. That's about it. Oh, my mic cut off when I announced who was batting third. And Brent Rooker's batting cleanup, so hopefully that clears that up. Not today, Satan. All right, so maybe I'm interested in picking on Jack Leiter. Put a righty. Tap into his power allowed to righties. That's probably your cleanup guy. I imagine you never get anything priced well for Brent Rooker these days. Not bad. 6.5, 1.5. Didn't think we were gonna get flat lines for that. He's only minus 115. That's actually like not value. All right, I'm gonna leave it be. I'm gonna just leave it alone. Jacob Wilson minus 140 though. Batting 311, high OBP, some good hit him in type of guys behind him. What do we get for Jacob Wilson? 6.5 fantasy points. I'll put it in the line value section of the notes. Jesus. What do we say? Minus 140 for 2. Nothing else here screaming at me. Yeah, Kurtz has been going crazy. And Kurtz is one of those guys that he's going to grow into being above average. Now, again, I don't know if he's getting the benefit of the home field. Like, this is like when we used to have to pull up course hitters back in the day. Like, what's his road splits looking like? But we knew he was, like, going to be a beast when he came up. He has 5 homers on the road in 29 games, 13 at home. Actually, we can just see the park difference on homers, I guess. Man, see? 18 total homers. He would have 12 in Texas. 22 if all of his games are... I don't understand. I don't understand. All right. But yeah, he's been a beast. Let's go athletic stack, and that's it. That's about it. Next, Royals and the Cubs. Noah Cameron taking on Ryan Brazier. We got 3.5 run total for the Royals. They've dropped to 3 decimals. 4.2 for the Cubbies. Looks like a wind blowing in game 70s. Not cold, but not one of these 90-degree temps. Jonathan India, Bobby Witt, Vinny Pascantino, Michael Garcia, Salvi, Jack Caglianone, Nick Lofton, John Rave, Kyle Isbell is our confirmed Royals lineup. 21% K rate on Cameron, 3.17 expected ERA. We got a little difference between the Sierra and expected ERA. That's always fun. High ground ball rate to both sides of the plate. Little home run problem to lefties. Ryan Brazier on the other side. Brazier was he a bullpen guy for the Red Sox? Is he a stretched out starter, or is he just... He's an opener. Okay. Why do we know this? Ben Brown coming back, sir. So we're going to put Ben Brown in the spreadsheet over Brazier because it'll probably just bring more value to the matchup. But neither guy is like touchable then, I guess, right? So Ben Brown, we'll give him a 25% K rate. For Cameron, we'll go 21. Man, and this game kind of like, you get to the Cubs stack just because it's the Cubs, but it's not like a matchup is pointing we gotta do it type of thing. But I imagine you don't have to get much portfolio equity to be over the field. I'm gonna give him 13 outs, I guess, and it's just ugh. So they had been moving Hap out of the leadoff spot. And right now in the projector, we got Nico Horner. Technically, Nico is batting 360 this year against lefties. I mean, the lefty sample size doesn't accumulate as fast as righty sample size. So I'm not going to put any action on this because Cameron's just been kind of hard to hit. But out of curiosity, you can't really get nothing on Nico. Actually, yeah, he's super juiced. All right. Was gonna look. Was looking. Fastball knuckle curve. That's a fun combo. Bobby Witt. There's only 3 guys that hit the curve on this team. The rest of the team sucks. Maybe I don't know, man, because they don't strike out. Intriguing. All right, only 3 games left. This next game is crazy. 6.5 run total for the Cardinals. 5.3 for the Rockies. Rockies lineup is confirmed. Mickey Moniak, Ezekiel. What's your name? Ezekiel. You, Ezekiel. All right, we brought up the soundboard. Ryan McMahon in the 5-hole. Brenton Doyle in the 6-hole. Yanquiel Fernandez, Orlando Arcia, Adael Amador. I feel like saying that name 3 times will activate some demons. So everybody settle down. Cardinals lineup is really bad, but they're really cheap with a 6.5 run total against Austin Gomber. Ivan Herrera in the 2-hole is great. Wilson Contreras, they basically got 2 catchers that are the bulk of their projected offense. No one else hits lefties at a good clip. No one hits lefties for power. But this is a case of bad hitting versus bad pitching. And you guys know at the major league level, I tend to lead bad hitting beating bad pitching. And now you put them in cores, and good things happen to bad people. If Ivan Herrera was in the lineup, or Contreras, really. Honestly, let's just pull the whole team. But I feel like, I don't know if we get any value from 2.5 Ks. Will Contreras at 8.5 fantasy points. Got nothing on Ivan. got 2.5 hits plus runs plus RBI, so everything's priced like it should be. A little bit of a polarizing subject. Nolan Arenado back in Colorado. Yeah, a little fun. A little fun with that. But nothing that makes you feel great. So, what are you going to do? All right, Cardinals. Rockies. McGreevy, 18% K rate. He has been... It's only at 21 innings, right? But I don't feel like I'm getting a good idea of who he is. Because his barrel rate's over 9%. Line drive rate's at 30%. Hard contact rate's 33%. Just keeping the ball in the park. Is this a product of Busch? Now, remember, Coors Field, biggest outfield. I'm not screaming, but I feel like at 20 innings, I'm not getting enough sample to really know who he is. So maybe we'll go look at his minor league numbers. But based on that batted ball data, I would expect him to give up more homers, right? Low ground ball, 9+% barrel rate. All right, so in the minors, his ground ball rate to righties goes to 1.5, ground out to air out, and almost a 1. So I guess we're looking for his ground ball rate to grow. So I guess we're kind of seeing that against righties and lefties. Maybe it's a little bit of luck and low sample. And only 3 homers, and they were to righties. So that part of his game is in his pedigree. So we'll stick with it. We did get an Orioles lineup to tie up that early slate, but let's finish this one. So 18.6. Gomber, 10.8. Let's go 4.5 for Gomber. Let's go 8. Kind of outs we project in 15 and 15. The Royals could be sneaky or Ben Brown. I feel like they don't really get lines on Ben Brown, right? So like, I don't know. Maybe we get some live options. Unless you're at the Royals could be sneaky against Ben Brown. Ooh, which is possible. But that's a tough team to get excited about. All right, let me tie a bow on that early slate with the Orioles lineup. So bear with me 1 second. Leading off, Jackson Holliday, Jordan Westburg, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, Colton Cowser, Tyler O'Neill, Cedric Mullins, and Jacob Stallings is not in the lineup. It's Alex Jackson. Jesus. So all that waiting for one guy, and it was Alex Jackson. Yeah, okay. All right, back to the main slate. Let's get up to the Brewers and the Mariners. Got Brandon Woodruff taking on George Kirby. 3.5 run total for the Brew Crew. 3.7 for the Mariners. Guys, you guys see what the Brewers are doing? The Brewers are like top 5 in total wins. At 59, tied with the Cubs in the Central. One more than the Dodgers. More than the Phillies. More than they're one less than the Tigers. Like they got wins. And if you guys remember, their season started with the torpedo bat drama. So a little history to remember. Hey, don't give up. But the funny thing about the Brewers is they're not good at almost anything. Tenth in team WAR. Go look at their hitting stats as a team, right? Overall WRC plus, they're right smack dab in the middle. Slugging as a team, they're 22nd. OPS as a team, they're 18th. Average as a team, I guess on average they're 13th, slightly above league average, right? Look at their I guess the plus stats would be great. They're literally just league average, you know what I mean? And they're winning. So it reminds me of a team, like, you know, like sometimes they'll talk about how football teams that win, that they lose by less than a one possession, more than, you know, that's what it feels. It feels like this is the opposite of that. Like the Brewers are winning by a field goal type of luck. But I'm not hating on them because I know a lot of Brewers fans. But that's the beauty of baseball. You can be perfectly average over the course of a season. But day to day, you squeak out them wins, and you squeak out them wins. It's hilarious. Alex Saxon hit a homer for you. Yeah, I saw that. Brandon Woodruff's taking on George Kirby. 3.5 run total for the Brewers. 3.7 for the Mariners. Woodruff a 47% K rate in just 10 innings of return work. Now, we know he's been good historically. Missing some time, but it's good to see that he brought his swing and miss stuff back right off the rip. He'll be facing George Kirby. 3.7 expected ERA, 25% K rate, 8.6% barrel rate. Kind of splitty in terms of power allowed, 2.25 to lefties this season, 1.25 last year. But keeping righties in the park and on the ground, probably going to get a pretty half and half Brewers lineup that, again, not really great at any one thing, right? They're not the worst, but not really great at any one thing. So let's project it out. We got to do some digging on Woodruff, see what we might expect, and kind of see. Maybe we'll check his velos after some time off. His velo is crazy down. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, because 32 years, season off. 93, before he left, he was at 96. Maybe he ramps that up. But even on 93, 34% whiff rate. So I think no matter what we decide, we're going to need more sample size to make long-term decisions here. And I doubt that we're live to get a lot of innings out of them, although the Mariners are a team that do kind of like to gamble with strikeouts against. But 81 pitches, we might get 90 pitches here then, so that's an 11 pitch progression, but he didn't get out of 5. 10 Ks, man, against the Milwaukee Brewers. Dude, how many people are rocking a 34% whiff rate on a 93 mile an hour fastball? How you doing that? I can't even explain it. You got something on that? Is it just pitch mix, or you gotta sit his other pitches? But still 33%. So sinker, about the same velo. Obviously sinker a little more designed for contact. Same with the cutter. Maybe the four-seamer and sinker come out really similar and move Hold on. I don't know. I have to check. I don't know. Anyway. So let's just give him a 25% K rate. And then for Kirby, we'll go 25 as well. No walks, but we're going to be modest here. Let's go 8%. We're kind of like creating numbers for that just because we don't want a anomalic output. And then what kind of outs we're getting? 17 and a half, 16. I think it was 16 and a half outs. That's pretty good. That'll give us 5.6 Ks, and now there is wiggle room on his strikeout prop because we put him at 25, and he's been going crazy. Back-to-back starts against the same team. Usually not a great thing in my mind, but not something I over sweat. 6.8 Ks for Kirby. With a 5 pit. Oh no. Did I say that right? No, I didn't say that right. 5.6 Ks. Jesus. Why did I just say 6.8? What number was I looking at? Almost made a big mistake. 5.6 Ks. I don't know why I just said 6.8. But that could have been disastrous. Gonna go Kirby, Woodruff. Brewers, you would want to grab some lefties, but it's not happening. Kind of the same with the Mariners. I'll just leave it at that. 2 games left on the docket. Let's get that typed up. We got Colton Gordon taking on Zach Gallen. Gallen's on trade watch. Could be his last start. It's like 10 days left for the deadline. Gallen might be a little overvalued by the public, but you know, whatever. Gatzel Marte, Corbin Carroll. I almost said Corbin whatever. Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor, also Suarez on Hug Watch. Randall Grichuk, James McCann, Blaze Alexander, Raldo Perdomo. 4.3 and a 5-run total. We got Colton Gordon with a 4 expected ERA, 52 innings, 8% swing and strike rate, 19% K rate. High average to both sides of the plate. Big ground ball numbers to lefties, not so much to righties. And the fly ball rate goes up. And like you said, the barrel rate and the home run per 9 goes up. And that's the problem for Eugenio Suarez, who 400 ISO is actually ridiculous. When you stop and think about it. 132 WRC plus on a 193 batting average. Yeah, batting average don't matter. It's great. So we're gonna go D-backs as our interest. A little intrigued by Zach Gallen. So remember, this team is without Yordan Alvarez. Now they're without Isaac Paredes. So while they don't strike out a ton, they do strike out more, and they're having to rely on guys that they wouldn't want to play right now. They didn't have to. So Zach Gallen and the D-backs top my list here. Not really get into an Astro stack and not really intrigued by Gordon. Let's put a projection in for Gordon. 19.3%. Zach Gallen 22.2. Walk rates. Let's go 4.5. Zach Gallen 9. Outs. 17 and a half, 14 and a half. Let's give him little points to his fantasy. And that's all I got to say about that. One game left in the docket. We'll go back, sweep some stuff, and maybe double check on some props we like after this. If you guys are listening, lurking, you want access to the spreadsheet every day, one plug, MLBgrind.com. Go get yourself a week pass. The subscription-based passes. I believe it's. I'll look. I think it's a week pass and a month pass. That's it. Yeah, 50 a month, 15 a week. Good way to support the stream, support the site. We, at least for this week, the plan is today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern-ish. Sometimes you gotta give me 10 more minutes, but so look out for that. And then Thursday it's like not off the table, but it's only 5 games. And then me and Terry were talking about a collab, but what I fear is that there's too many games on today, Tuesday. Like each day I believe is 15 games. I feel like me and Terry would talk for 8 hours, and I don't think that's good for you guys. I don't know. Maybe you do like it. Maybe. Dodgers throwing Shohei Ohtani. And Twins throwing David Festa. Need a lineup confirmed. See how stretched out Ohtani's been getting. Remember, Ohtani will only accrue batting stats, will not receive pitching stats. He's gotten up to, I don't know. That's what the French call a certain, I don't know what. How do I look up his pitch? God dang it. All I care about is pitch count. It really doesn't matter. We're not playing Ohtani because you can't. But I have to project how long he's going to pitch anyway. Wait, what? Three innings. All right. 36 pitches last time, 3 innings. Yeah. Okay. All right, David Festa, bad at baseball. One thing about contact pitchers against the Dodgers, they'll turn into Nolan Ryan. So keep that in mind when you're projecting pitchers going forward. Let's go 23% on his K rate. Ohtani, boy. Let's go 8%. Let's go walk rate. 7. Outs, 14.5 for Festa. 3, 9.5. Let's just go 9.5 for Ohtani. And that's our pitchers projected out. So that's gonna unlock. Oh, well, matchup wise, hey, Dodgers, we'll get behind him. Moogie's in his head right now. I'm not saying you should compare 2 specific hitters. One of them that gets a lot of hate, one of them that doesn't. But if you did, you could compare, I don't know, Mookie Betts and Anthony Volpe. You could if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you could compare those two and see who's better statistically this season. But you don't have to. Let's go open up our stack ratings and our pitcher projection tabs. I'm sure Mookie's got him beat. I'm sure. Like, why would I even bring that up? Actually, no. Actually, it's fun to meme him, but I like Mookie Betts. He's the GOAT. He's just a nice person. I hope he gets it together, but also loses it later against the Yankees. I was almost sure that after a day off, and then coming back in a leadoff spot, he was gonna hit 2 homers. Just seems like hashtag baseball. That's old school managing right there. Put the guy slumping in the leadoff spot. more. All right, first of all, it was more like a hitting stat reference, but you know. Anthony Volpe, MLB. 686 OPS. Oh, Mookie's got him beat by 2 now. All right. Let's go, Mookie. 53 RBIs for Volpe. Look at this guy referencing stats that doesn't matter. Hey, man. Small parking torpedo merchant. We like to have fun here. Main pitcher projections. Now compare contracts. Don't worry, I'll wait. Yo, Shane Baz came at the top. Hello. This is just a vomit bag of. Someone's missing. No, he's not. Rodon's right there. God dang, dude. Brandon Woodruff, who we don't know how much he's going to pitch, came in second. I think that's because of his short sample on his whip and whatnot. Pitching's wide open. Core for DK's Lopez, Oakland, Kirby, Betts, Oh, Baz, probably. And Profane? Thinking about putting Astros second baseman in roster as well. Oh, okay, so a Profar you probably mean. Betts as in Mookie Betts? Nah, I'm not hating on him. I said my piece. All right, any lineups I need to update, and then I'll tell you what. For the back half of the slate, nothing was like, let me go check out these props. You know what I mean? Maybe there's something against Festa, but you almost never get Dodgers at a reasonable price. Maybe there's actually the other day we did get Will Smith at like a crazy low number that he didn't hit, but whatever. It's a lot of Smith. 5.5 fantasy points, so we can maybe look at Will Smith. I assume he's going to be at like minus 130 for 2, minus 135. So technically, Will Smith probably has a little ability to smack his fantasy prop. I was watching a Tao and he was doing Will Smith jokes in 2025. We get it, dude. He slapped Chris Rock. Get over it. What did you say it was? Minus 130. 135. So theoretically, technically, if he hit in a high... Oh, but Freeman got hurt too, yeah? Man. No Freeman. Mookie slumping. Yeah, no, I think Betts will get it together sooner or later. Any catcher or top outfielder you like? I mean, it's probably going to be one of the Cardinals catchers, assuming that they're both in the lineup. Like as far as like a top, especially if Yvonne Herrera bats second against a lefty. He's 5,500 though. You got to go up there and get him. Wait, Contreras is a first baseman. That's right, dude. In my mind, he's still a catcher. I just figured he'd still be catcher eligible, so I'm dumb. All right, let me sweep lineups real quick and see if there's anything I'm missing. We got a lot of lineups, dude. That's what I love about baseball. I believe there's a Rangers lineup that came out. There it is. Michael Hellman, jar of mayonnaise, sandwich spread leading off. Corey Seager. Michael Hellman. All right. Michael Hellman, MILB. Who the freak is this guy? He's got a Twins cap on. This year in the minors, batting. Okay, all right, that's my bad. There's a pinch. It looks like a pinch run stolen base in the major league level, but 243 average in the minors, 8 stolen bases, 102 in his career. Is there? Let me see. 202 at bats. Maybe that's actually not too bad. Is he a speed guy? Let's go look at last year. Stolen bases. Dude, they don't track stolen base numbers or what? Oh, they do. It's up there. All right. Last year, 12 stolen bases. So like he's not. Man, that's just kind of a weird thing to do. This guy has 4 major league at bats this year. And you're like, yeah, let's lead him off. All right. Anyway, I mean, I guess they don't have. I don't know. You got Marcus Semien and Adolis Garcia as your heart of the order. I thought I would just left well enough alone, but I don't know. I can't really do much. One thing I'll say about the Rangers, as much as they sucked, they don't suck the same way too long. What am I saying? Meaning they're always changing their lineup, right? They're always switching things up, trying to make something stick and work. So you gotta at least give them credit for that. That's just a weird. What's up, Ayo? Here. I just can't believe that was my analysis. Who's giving you that? Where's Terry? Me and Terry are gonna start Tout Wars. You're gonna clip him, give some like elongated breakdown on some guy's bat speed and all these stats that matter, and then you're gonna Family Guy flash to me. At least the Rangers don't suck the same way for long. What even was that? So stupid. Michael Busch, man, he's been all over this lineup. We've actually seen him lead off, but I guess against a lefty, they can go with Horner. So that Cubs lineup is confirmed, and I believe that catches us up on all of these lineups. Right? You're not finding any. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to hate on Hillman, but why is he leading off? Like, what did he do? It's not like he was surging in the minors. It's not like he's a speed demon. He's just like, all right, welcome to the big leagues. You're batting first. Cool. All right, what do you guys want to throw a card on some of these bets we threw down? Not bets. So these are our notes. So I wrote stronger confidence on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. That's almost a perfect 6 pick. And then line value, which is probably smarter than confidence, at 140 plus for most. Let me go ahead and post that in the MLB Grind Discord. In case anyone lurking can't see. Sometimes it's blurry. That's what we pulled away with while breaking down. So I guess I don't love putting money on 2 Marlins. I just want to say it. I'm just going to say it. But I get it. And I think we justified all that. I think we did. Let me double check before I catch us lying. Jesus Sanchez is minus 145. Yeah. 145 over Stowers is minus 130. So technically value, but not like crazy. And then Wood was minus 135. Then Schwaba was minus 145. So actually, now that that's updated with some odds, let's do this. Update, delete. Let's do that. All right. Let's put these 6 in like a $5 power, and then I'll mix and match these others going forward. So let's go, Jesus. Stowers. I will say I don't love getting into the middle of the Marlins home lineup, and then I think there's a little tax on having 2 guys. Olsen. God dang, I thought that said Rhonda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's just put a 5-piece on that. I might go back and throw more on a couple of these guys later, but we'll do that. So if anybody wants to tell that, these are all from the stream that we researched. And I'll probably play with some mix and match, some pairs. Shout out to all my pairs. Let me screenshot that for Discord. Understand, we've been getting slaughtered. All right, looking a little like that. And we'll mix and match others going forward. So I got nothing else. I do intend to be back live tomorrow.
Find your way.
At 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So I can't really rate out like I can on Twitch. But if you guys want more baseball chat, my boy Terry is live. And he goes way more in depth on the hitters. I do a good job on the pitching. He does a good job on everything, but he definitely gives you the hitters like crazy. So go check that out. Otherwise, I'll be in the premium Discord up until lock. And I'll be working on these picks, man. I appreciate you guys. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. And go drop a year in Terry's chat. Love you guys. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.